For almost a month now, I have been oscillating between Plat 1 and Plat 2, and I'll have games where I am the best player on my team in Plat 2, and games where I'm the worst player in Plat 1. And sometimes I'm losing the games where I'm the best player and winning the games where I'm the worst. Welcome back to Idiot to Immortal, where I try to go from Silver to Immortal, and today let's look at how I have gotten Hardstuck, and how we can try to overcome these types of situations. Now, the concept of being Hardstuck outdates video games. In skill development, it's known as hitting a plateau, and there are many different reasons why this can happen, and many different ways to overcome it. In their book, The Plateau Effect, Bob Sullivan and Hugh Thompson outline 8 elements that cause people and businesses to plateau. Now let's walk through the 4 of these that I think are most applicable to Valorant and how we improve at games, and see how we can fix those things. Now first we have immunity. This is the most prevalent and relatable cause to me for being Hardstuck. We build up routines and we begin to build up a tolerance to these routines, whether it's getting used to a bad smell in a city that bothered you when you first moved there and now you hardly notice, or a bad habit of not stopping to fully shoot at medium range after doing it so many times. Going through the same routines in practice or in life build these habits, and the way to defeat this is diversity. Now I'll dive into exactly what the solutions to each of these problems means later, but for now we're going to move on to the second element. And the second element that leads us to plateau is employing the greedy algorithm. Now, if you're familiar with mathematics, you know that the greedy algorithm is a way of solving problems that involves always choosing the best immediate option in the short term and ignoring potential long-term drawbacks. In Valorant, this bears out by playing in cheesy and suboptimal ways to try to eke out as many kills as you can in your current elo. Now, an example of this would be you going for body shots instead of headshots. Sure, you might miss the head now, and the body shots will give you a higher chance of killing your opponent in your current elo, but in the long term, you really need that lower time to kill that comes with being accurate at headshots. So the solution here is to extend your gratification horizon. Now the third element that leads us to plateau is distraction, and this can go hand in hand with immunity and falling into bad routines. But basically it's easy after a while to lose that razor sharp focus you had when you were a beginner. To overcome this, we will use the principle of radical focus. And the fourth and final element that leads us to plateau is perfectionism. Now, this is something a lot of people struggle with. Although personally I don't have this issue as much in Valorant, it's still well worth mentioning. Allowing a high standard for yourself to interfere with the incremental progress that's required to achieve great things is a sure way to get stuck. I know after getting from Silver 1 to Plat 1 in under 3 weeks, I started to feel a pressure to win every game I played and continue to progress in leaps and bounds, and I kind of felt demotivated by the extremely normal and expected slowing down of my progress. Now, the solution here is to focus on first steps. Having touched on the 4 elements that lead us to plateau, let's now dive into the 4 solutions that I had mentioned earlier. As I said, the solution to immunity is diversity, and this means a radical change to your routine, whether you change the routine itself, your intensity, the duration of practice, or all of those things. A big change in your day-to-day practice will help you get out of the trap of becoming immune to it. For me, implementing this means finding a new practice routine, even if it's just for the sake of change and getting out of the zone that I found myself stuck in. The goal might be to continue to work on similar skills, but I do need to still change things up. Now, the solution to the greedy algorithm is extending your gratification horizon. This means understanding the scale of your goals and accepting taking shortcuts now is the entire reason that you are stuck in the first place, and the only way to achieve these great things is doing them the proper, sustainable way. For me, this means, just go for headshots more, and there's tons of different ways to look at my gameplay and acknowledge that the goal of getting to Immortal requires some short-term sacrifice of results to continue improving in the best way. Now, the solution to distraction is radical focus. This means refining that initial attunement you had when you were a beginner to your surroundings, making sure you are completely present and not going through the motions. Personally, I claim I'm serious about improving, but I find myself sometimes picking up my phone during practice deathmatches or even games for no reason. I can't possibly be giving my 100% focus if I have my phone in my hand. And finally, the solution to perfectionism is first steps. And what that entails is refocusing on the incremental improvements that build you from where you are one step closer to where you want to be, and not trying to leapfrog to your goal in one day. I have to remember that I still need to make small progress in each part of my game, like aim and movement, and I can't just become an immortal player overnight by just playing and trying to get better as an amalgamation of all the skills at once and just become an immortal player. I need to work on each part of my game discreetly and with focus. And there is actually a 5th way to kind of get around plateauing that is extremely useful and can sometimes be harder than the other 4, and that is taking a break. Just letting the work you put in speak for itself, and taking a breather allows you to come back fresh, more focused, and excited to tackle your routine again, and it gives you a nice reset if you're starting to get frustrated with your stagnation. I'll be implementing these first 4 tactics as I try to improve beyond my current level that I've kind of been hovering at for a while, and if they don't work, then I'll try taking a break, come back fresh, and try to tackle this whole issue from another angle, and I'll be back to let you know how it went. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you enjoy, and if you're interested in seeing more, stay tuned. Have a great day, guys. Peace.